you've been factoring over the last couple weeks. And one of the reasons that you've been factoring, and we haven't really gone in great depth and explained it, is that you're going to use factoring to solve problems that equal 0. We're going to actually use it to solve equations, and these are going to be second degree, or actually they can even be higher than second degree equations. So anyway, we need to talk about the zero property. And the zero property basically states that when you multiply two things together, if two multiplied quantities equal 0, so multiplying two things together, one of them has to be 0. If I say what's 7 times 0, it's automatically 0. 0 times 9 is 0. Anything times 0 is 0, and that's the only way to get 0 when you're multiplying. If it's 7 times 2, well, that's 14. Again, one of them has to be 0. Now, I use the word quantity here instead of number very, very specifically. All right, now I've got a little thing here that says, a rule, that says set each quantity equal to 0 and solve. Before we do that, I just want to look at this one and let's just do this by guess and check. And it's a pretty simple one to do by guess and check. X plus 3, that's a quantity, times x minus 2, another quantity, equals 0. Well, the only way these two things end up being 0 is if one of them is 0. What value could we put into the first part to make it equal 0? Well, what number plus 3? Hopefully you would say negative 3. X is equal to negative 3. I'm writing it lower on purpose. And so that would give me 0 here. And if you put negative 3 in for x here, negative 3 minus 2, that's negative 5. 0 times negative 5 is 0. So that's an answer, but then I say, wait a minute. We got the second part. What can we put in the second part to make it 0? And hopefully you would just look at it and say 2. Because 2 minus 2 is 0. So we got 2 plus 5 is 5 times 0 is 0. X equals 2. So now all of a sudden you have an equation and it's got two answers, not just one. All right. Now, it's easy to do these by guess and check when they're simple. What if you have two quantities that, and especially if we look at 4x plus 9, it's not so simple to look at and say, oh, what value of x makes that? So what we do is we set each quantity equal to 0 and solve. Now, for this one, x plus 3 equals 0, and we usually put a little line there, and I usually write the little word or there. X minus 2 equals 0. And then you just do your solving, minus 3, because that's a very simple equation. The 3's cancel, x equals negative 3. Plus 2, the 2's cancel, x equals 2. And again, I know people say, well, I don't want to do it for that one. Just get in the habit of doing it. It won't hurt you. And it just makes solving these a little bit more like a process. All right, so now I've got 6x, and that is a quantity, times 4x plus 9 equals 0. Well, let's do that one. So we're going to set each quantity equal to 0. So 6x equals 0. I put my little line in my OR. 4x plus 9 equals 0. Well, divide by 6, and 0 divided by 6 is 0. The second one, minus 9, 4x equals negative 9. Divide by 4. I'm going to write this off to the side here since I ran out of space. X equals 0 and negative 9/4. So I just put a little comma there, and that's what they expect you to do in your textbook also. The second one, x minus 6 times x plus 3. Hey, that one's got some pretty simple numbers, but I'm just going to go through, and I'm going to write x minus 6 equals 0. 4x plus 3 equals 0. I know that you can look at them and you can just see the answer. That's okay. Plus 6 plus 6. X equals 6 minus 3, x equals negative 3. It's not that painful. Just use a little extra paper. It's okay. The last one, those are both pretty complex. 5x plus 2 equals 0. Or 2x minus 7 equals 0. Minus 2 minus 2. 5x equals negative 2. Divide by 5, divide by 5. X is negative 2/5. And for this one, I hope you're thinking plus 7 plus 7. 2x equals 7. Divide by 2, divide by 2. X equals 7/2. So anyway, when you've got quantities that are multiplied together, if they equal 0, you just set them equal to 0 and solve. It's a pretty straightforward process. You have to remember how to solve basic equations. And hey, you'll get more than one answer with these because there's more than one possibility. Anyway, go ahead and practice and good luck.